Hi guys, and welcome back again. We are heading into the chantry. I, again, like yesterday, have to work today, so we're going to record as much as possible and get this loaded sometime tonight after work. But let's at least continue.
Good. You're finally here. Now help me close this, would you?
Oh, shit. Or, shoot, yeah. Whatever it is. Came from behind me.
Fascinating. How does that work exactly? You don't even know, do you? You just wiggle your fingers and boom. Rift closes.
Who are you?
Ah, getting ahead of myself again, I see. Dorian of House Parvus, most recently of Minrathous. How do you do?
Watch yourself. The pretty ones are always the worst.
Suspicious friends you have here. Magister Alexius was once my mentor, so my assistance should be valuable, as I'm sure you can imagine.
Are you a Magister?
All right, let's say this once. I'm a mage from Tevinter, but not a member of the Magisterium. I know Southerners use the terms interchangeably, but that only makes you sound like barbarians.
I was expecting Felix to be here.
I'm sure he's on his way. He was to give you the note, then meet us here after ditching his father.
Alexius couldn't jump to Felix's side fast enough when he pretended to be faint. Is something wrong with him?
He's had some lingering illness for months. Felix is an only child, and Alexius is being a mother hen, most likely.
You're betraying your mentor because...
Alexius was my mentor. Meaning he's not any longer, not for some time. Look, you must know there's danger. That should be obvious even without the note. Let's start with Alexius claiming the allegiance of the mage rebels out from under you. As if by magic, yes? Which is exactly right. To reach Redcliffe, before the Inquisition, Alexius distorted time itself.
he arranged it so he could arrive here just after the Divine died.
You catch on quick.
That is fascinating if true, and almost certainly dangerous.
The rift you closed here. You saw how it twisted time around itself, sped some things up and slowed others down. Soon, there will be more like it, and they'll appear further and further away from Redcliffe. The magic Alexius is using is wildly unstable, and it's unraveling the world.
I'd like more proof than magical time control go with it.
I know what I'm talking about. I helped develop this magic. When I was still his apprentice, it was pure theory. Alexius could never get it to work. What I don't understand is why he's doing it, ripping time to shreds just to gain a few hundred lackeys.
He didn't do it for them.
Took you long enough. Is he getting suspicious?
No, but I shouldn't have played the illness card. I thought he'd be fussing over me all day. My father's joined a cult, Tevinter Supremacists. They call themselves Venatori. And I can tell you one thing. Whatever he's done for them, he's done it to get to you.
Alexius is your father. Why are you working against him?
For the same reason Dorian works against him. I love my father, and I love my country. But this? Cults? Time magic? What he's doing now is madness. For his own sake, you have to stop him.
It would also be nice if he didn't rip a hole in time. There's already a hole in the sky.
Why would he rearrange time and indenture the Mage Rebellion just to get to me?
They're obsessed with you, but I don't know why. Perhaps because you survived the Temple of Sacred Ashes.
You can close the rifts. Maybe there's a connection. Or they see you as a threat.
If the Venatori are behind those rifts or the breach in the sky, they're even worse than I thought.
Do you have any suggestions?
You know you're his target. Expecting the trap is the first step in turning it to your advantage. I can't stay in Redcliffe. Alexius doesn't know I'm here, and I want to keep it that way for now. But whenever you're ready to deal with him, I want to be there. I'll be in touch. Oh, and Felix, try not to get yourself killed.
There are worse things than dying, Dorian.
Loot. Loot. And read. Circle of Magi. We only got a couple of ones to read here. Dorian Pavess, only child and heir presumptively to the synod seat of the Magister Howard Pavess. Dorian comes from a prestigious line of mages, prominently in the coastal Tevinter city of the Quanis, since the late Exiled Age. At the time the Imperium was recovering from a failure exalted march and the Fourth Blight, Gideon Pavess arose as a voice of reason within the Magisterium. He blocked of allies convinced the Imperium not to descend upon the weakened South, to extend a hand of reconciliation to those who had once sought their destruction. The House Paris remained standing even after Magister Gideon was tried for treason is boy, these hiccups. Testament to the power he built, and, as Dorian himself would claim, an excellent example of how intercedis politics in Tevinter can bring low even the brightest star. A lesson, he says, one should never forget. Okay. Did I miss one? There we go. Magister Garen Alexis, Lord and Ladies of the Magisterium, before we vote on the budget for this late measure against the Conori, I would ask that we take a moment to consider the state of our institutions of higher learning. The Circle of Manrathis is more than 10,000 years old. Dionysus the Dreamer himself was born within those walls. It continues to be a source of wisdom and guidance for the best and the brightest of the Imperium's youth, yet it falls into disrepair. Magister Ungarnis has made her case several times for increased funding to the circles, and as yet her appeals have gone unanswered. Magister Varen has spoke at length on the threat of the Oxmen in the north, a title of brutality that we alone hold back. Let me add this. How shall we defeat the Conori? How have we held back their advances all these long years without support from the other nations of Thedas? You know the answer, magic. It is our magic that holds the beast at bay, and through the ingenuity of our magic, we will drive them from our shores forever. My friends and colleagues, this is the battle we were prepared our apprentices, sons, and daughters to face. They need the resources to discover new magic, new techniques that can lend us an advantage in this endless war. They cannot do this while roofs crumble over their heads. Repair the circles. Let the Imperium's future be more than slow decline to the marching steps of the legions. An address by Magister Alexius to the Magisterium, taken from the official minutes in 939 dragon. The Circle of Magi. The Circle of Magi was established a century ago to protect us and to protect those without magic from the things we might do. No man in his right mind would disagree that these are noble goals. I refuse to believe that the Chantry intended the injustice and oppression we suffer in the intervening years. Segregation of the mages from non-mages in Templar-guarded compounds was the best, possibly the only option available. We have recently had to face the stark reality that the system failed us. The Circle of Magi in Ferelden's Keenlock Hold was one of the most liberating run, and even there we saw sedation and dissent, resulting in a failed revolt that nearly destroyed the entire tower. Perhaps stringency could work there where leniency failed. I would present Kirkwell's gallows as evidence against such thinking. Knight Commander Meredith's vice grip on the circle in her care backfired, leaving us where we are now. If the circles, no matter how they manage, do not, perhaps cannot, function as intended, which is next? There are no easy answers. The evidence of the recent years have forced me to re-examine my views on freedom. As an Antiquarians, I cannot say that, we have always advocated self-control and cooperation with the Chantry, but this approach may no longer serve. I must consider that our libertarian brothers and sisters had the right of it all along. Look at the strife and the chaos that now consumes our world. Fighting for independence, for a better system, may not improve our situation, but it cannot make it any worse. From a letter of Senior Enchanter Vorman Quinn of Cumberland to a college, dated 939 Dragon. Venatori, I know what you have been telling the others. Your mouth the word cult, and repeated lies the Chantry has been spewing at us for 1,000 years. Look around you, my friend. See what mighty Deventer is today. A once proud nation brought low, barely able to hold itself against the Oxmen. We nurtured our mages at the behest of the foreign regions, exalted their false maker, and became the laughingstock of all Thedas. Now we have a chance to reclaim what is rightly ours, but only if we act. We cannot wait to see which way the wind is blowing. We must make it blow. The Venatori are hunters, recruited in the secret over several years. We will descend with deadly purpose, to spill the blood of the South and make it ripple for conquest. When we return to our homeland, it will be as victors, with a new god as our patron. Then the cowards who refuse to aid us will know their mistake in full. Reported as evidence to the Venterium Circle of Magi, Dragon 940. And that looks like it. Okay. I know there's some more here. Let's go over here. Ah! There's one. Nothing over there. Okay. The Troubles of the Chantry Scholar. As a study of cult, it is important to always recognize your bias. I wear my Chantry's perspective openly, for if my readers do not understand the lens through which I view the world, they cannot account for how these bias may color my writing. Gathering accurate information is challenging in a place as vast and fragmented as Thedas. One man may go on at lengths about the lurid dealings with a king, then refuse to provide his name or some proof of the account. Other sources may conflict wildly, fixing travel to some of the more remote areas of continent is nothing compared to the difficulties I had finding contacts I can trust. I can tell you how many times reputable people have tried to deceive me, sometimes for personal notorieties, more often in the interest of a pet cause. Trustworthy Kronori, Dalish, and Tevinter contacts are especially scarce, and I prize those I have kept friendly. Often it is I whom must earn their trust. Texts, too, can be unreliable. From extensive reading, I have determined that Andraste was a Ferelden Orlesian who was born in every town from here to Hogsburg. What little remains of the Evelyn history has been told and retold, shifting and skewed, until the tales are unrecognizable. I have a particular respect for dwarves, for there is no other people so obsessed with recording an accurate and complete history, if only the shapers were as open as the skies they fear. If I can be honest, the long reign of the Chantry has made the recordings of a reality at times a trial. Most common histories have been rewritten through the filters of my religion. Everything has meaning as it pertains to the maker, and while this is unavoidable, it sometimes leads to conflict between what is officially taught by the Chantry and what I've seen with my own eyes. While my belief in the Maker is absolute, only a fool would ignore the lessons to be learned from other societies and religions. Take the Fade, it was the kingdom of the Maker, a common knowledge dictates, or the realm of the Deventer's old gods. Few people would contest its existence, but beyond that, there is a little agreement among scholars. Through there are many who would disagree with me. I have come to believe nothing is for certain. I met too many people and encountered too many perspectives not to keep an open mind about these things. An expert from a lecture by Brother Gentivi at the University of Olay, delivered shortly after the release of his seminal work, In Pursuit of Knowledge, The Travels of a Chantry Scholar, which is absolutely important that we read that. To note that he believes that the Maker and the Fade and the magic and everything is intertwined all together, and it'd be unresponsible not to say that history with other cultures.
Do we believe that both Alexius's son and apprentice are turning on him? It seems someone wants to trap us either way.
Vince, they can't sneeze without stabbing each other in the back.
It would make sense that every history from Dalish to Kronori to everything has kind of a matching history all in together. That's why it'll be very curious on when the Veilguard comes out on how which way they take the history of gods in their own way. We know that they state that it's elven gods, but are they truly just elven gods? Are they more than that? Are they been hand in hand with the old Deventer gods?
Inquisition. Thank the Maker you came. Tell me you're here to reinstate the circles and end this madness.
And maybe we'll hear more about what Andraste's history was more about. I am so intrigued on how we can get more like lore in that aspect, because that's exciting. How does it tie to even everything, including my thoughts that dwarves were once mages, and hopefully we'll get more in depth in that as well.
I'm sorry, I didn't get your name.
Hanley Dervain of the Cumberland Circle of Magi. I heard of your miraculous survival at the Temple of Sacred Ashes, and I am so honored to meet you.
I thought this was the stronghold of the rebellion. Why do you want the circles back?
I never supported this rebellion. I'm a loyal Andrastian, and I deplore the chaos this war has wrought. The Templars rebelling, the murder of the Most Holy. I can scarce live with the guilt.
Then what are you doing in Redcliffe?
The Circles voted. Rebellion won out. What was I to do? Launch a counter-rebellion on my own? I followed my first Enchanter's lead, as I always have. She brought us here.
I take it you don't support the Tevinters.
Andraste's ashes, never. They don't even sing the right chant. And they sacrifice children, don't they? I don't know how the Grand Enchanter could think of accepting their offer. You can get us out of this bargain, can't you? Before we're all shipped off to the Imperium like cattle.
I haven't seen anyone from Tevinter in the village.
They're all at the castle, plotting, no doubt.
Thank you for your time.
It's been an honor.
Well, thank you. I appreciate it. Alright, so we got a few things we gotta do. Let's do this first. Okay, I want to check. Everybody's health is back on. Relin locks. Gotcha. Okay. So we're heading over there. Text on Celine's shrine. Seeing beloved. Senna, my beloved. May your ashes be gathered by Faldine and carried safely. After all the long years you've carried me. Very good. There is something coming. Oh, well, I didn't mean to kill the animal. I thought I was perfectly where I needed to be, but hey, that worked out just fine. Okay, now we'll travel here. Went to the chiropractor the other day and my bones are just popping in all sorts of places. Well, and we'll just keep it at that. Oh. Alright, let's find this ram. Can always come back to that one. Come on, hold still. Where'd you go?
Lord Wolseley, I presume? A young man named Jimmy would very much like you to return home. Ah, good.
There we go. Very good. Where are we at? 34? It's not too bad. Okay. Lord Uzi, get going now. Before, like, you know, bears and stuff get you. Hello, my people.
We've been searching the region for resources. Commander's orders. No small task given recent troubles, but I've some supplies.
Yes, thank you. Very useful. Get out of the way, Nug. I'll probably have to turn the volume off of this thing. It can get very, very loud in here. Oh, I didn't know you could do that. How many times have I played this game and figured out I couldn't do that?
Must be an old Deep Roads access. It looks ancient.
It seems the dwarves have found new use for it.
Good lord. Every time I try, I still can't get that to turn down. Not a chance. Oh. Nice try. No sneaky sneaky for you. Can we get my stuff now? We good? You guys made it down here quick. I love games. Okay. Read. Card a note on security. We should be secured enough from outsiders. I'm more concerned about the tracking dark spawn. Sorry guys, that was my work alarm. More concerned about attracting dark spawn from the lower levels. We do not have the manpower to push them further in, keep the product on the upper levels, and barricade the bridges. Let's see here. We'll use the U this time, Blackwell. Thank you, dear sir. Okay. So let's go out here. And we're gonna go by this door. And we're gonna pause it. And for you, it'll just be a little bit of a pause, and I'll be right back. For me, it will be 8 hours again. I am thinking to work with my working hours. This is how it's going to be doing with Inquisition, just because I am doing the other two as well, and normally I do those either just before the night or before I go to bed after I'm done editing this one. And then I normally do the Dragon Age 2 record right away, and then I do this one. But anyway, tomorrow I have dentist appointments for the kids, and then I'll probably have most of the day until the volleyball tournament for my daughter comes. But at least then I could at least record the majority amount on Thursday. So hopefully we'll keep the videos coming, because we are already almost in mid-October, and we do know that Veilguard is coming at the end of it. Depending on availability, if we'll start that right away or if we'll wait until one of these episodes are done and then sink our teeth into it. But we'll see how it goes. But anyway, I have to go to work, and we'll see you in just a bit. Bye now. Hi guys, we're back. So we're gonna try doing this quick here. I have to wake up early, and get kids to appointments tomorrow. So we're just gonna do a few things here. I'm gonna try being as quiet as I possibly can, because everybody is sleeping. On an angry note, first Liska, now Brenner. Caught him trying to steal some of the product. Just a little bit, just to keep, he says. Nugshit, he's trying to make a little extra on the side. I think he would, thinking I wouldn't notice. I will not be undermined. Your cousin said that we could trust Benar, so you handle it. If I'm not happy, you won't be either. Much of Valammar remains close to us. Anyone interested in the changing that should meet here tomorrow, 1 hour past noon. T. A series of notes has been scrawled below this notice. Stop wasting time on that damn door. I don't care what's behind it. The mechanism's broken. More importantly, who cares? We have the product to move, and you want to see if some ancient dwarf locked up some good tea sets. We're short-handed as it is. If I hear you've taken another group to the lower levels in search of gears, I'll make you sorry. L. Let's see, first of all, I think this place used to be a trade post. There could be something valuable behind that door. And just how will you make me sorry, T? I'll use my imagination and knives, L. Alright, here. Did I get it?
Darkspawn. How many can we expect to encounter? Blackwall?
It's hard to say. Keep your guard up.
It's hard to know. Okay. We have... Got one more left. Dwarven gear. Now, was that so hard?
The Darkspawn are coming up through here.
You must seal it off.
Can you help me with that, Solus? Thank you so much. Okay. Pretty sure that makes us good now, right?
Son, I've had enough Inquisition members.
Okay. Orders for lake operations. Check on the operations at the lake. Make sure they're doing their jobs down there. Don't let them give you shit about the wildlife. I don't care. Take Lisky with you. Give her something to do. She's been on edge, complaining about humming or some nonsense. She can't handle the job. Deal with it. Report on activity in the hinterlands. The soldiers call themselves Inquisition. They've been helping the refugees near Redcliffe, poking around a fair bit too, though they haven't come near here. They have someone with a trick for closing those rifts. Claims she's some sort of prophet. Zealous nug shit, if you ask me. Must be on fast-talking elf to get a bunch of humans to fall for that. Not sure what she's after, but if those mercenaries do their job, we won't have a problem. Still, keep an eye out.
They've been watching our movements.
Personal note scrawled in a ledger. It's good, though, Red. Through Red. With the Templars surveying the ties to the Chantry, we should find buyers easy enough. If it has to be the right buyer, though, don't want anyone who'll get ideas. We need to control distribution. If travel across Lake Callahan is secured, we're made. Most of the veins have been near the surface. There's enough of it, but if we find a deeper vein, a source, the take could be huge. Once we have a firm grip on the current operations, we can look into expansion. Let's do this. I like that idea. Okay. Take it. Darktown Steel. Asking the nobles of Orzammar how their kingdom gets silk and grain and wine from the surface, and they'll tell you trade with the surface occurs. It occurs as if on its own. with no traders or merchants or human farmers involved, a little miracle of dwarven ingenuity. The reality is a lot messier than their fantasy. Orzammar relies upon the surface, not just for its prosperity, but for its survival. Ages of the Blight has taken thousands of tags away from the dwarves. These were the places where most of the foods were raised. The dwarven kingdoms that endured alone independence beneath the stone from time immemorial perished in the first Blight, faded into myth. Now the remaining dwarves underground cling to existence through a lifeline to the surface, a change forged from the casteless. Every dwarf who goes to the surface is stripped of their caste, efficiently exiled and removed from the dwarven society forever, but Orzammar relies on the continued relationship with these exiles to live. This has created a shadowy area of dwarven trade and politics, which the rich, powerful, and the elite maintain secret ties to the people who, by official decree, no longer exist, and everyone knows what kind of things lurk in the shadows. The cutter lives in the underbelly of the surface trade like a tapeworm. Many servitors maintain ties, not officially recognized, of course, but respectable, to their former houses in their noble or merchant caste, and those contacts are their means of trading with Orzammar. Those who have no ties because they were cast off by their families or never had good connections make the trip back underground to trade with Orzammar personally, where they find themselves treated like criminals. A casteless in Orzammar, even a wealthy one, from the surface, will be driven away from most merchants, treated like he's carrying a plague at best. So the surface merchants turn to the carter for help. The carter acts as a contact in Orzammar for the surface business and sells their goods on the black market. For a cut, of course. The carter always gets its cut. The outraged citizens of Orzammar sometimes petitions the assembly to deal with the rampant crime surrounding the black markets, and showy display are made of kicking in the doors to Kata's hideouts and raising dust down, but the Karta always comes back, because the assembly always allows it. Too much of Orzammar is dependent on the black market trade, and the nobles know it. They all do business with the Karta. Everyone has a stake in its success. The Carter has 1,000 faces above and below the surface. Honest merchants and noble caste lords and upstanding members of the Merchants' Guild, all a cover for the 1,000 more smugglers, thieves, and murderers in the shadows. To the lifeline of Orzammar, praise the ancestors. Expert from a Dark Town deal by Varric Tetris. Nice.
Some people make their living from valuables they find in the deep roads.
perk for us. Come on. Why must you be? Seriously. There we go. Goodness. I mean, I really didn't mean that, but it was through the whole I'm irritated. Now I'm just gonna do it because you irritated me. Right. Let's go and do this quickly.
Let's look around.
We can't. Thank you.
Wild in the hills of Redcliffe.
I do not suppose you found my Senna's shrine. I know it is a long way to go.
I cleaned Senna's shrine and placed the flowers. May her ashes be gathered by Foundine and carried safely.
After all the long years she carried me, thank you. You do a foolish old man too much kindness. Maceranus, Dalen, take this with my gratitude. Senna would have wanted you to have it.
Merchants coming in now say there are countless bodies lying butchered on the side of the road.
Lord Wolseley came back! He says you convinced him. Here, for all your trouble.
All right. All right, and this is where we're going to end it, guys. Have a good night.